Now let's bring you today's focus report on the programme. And back in 1950, there were an estimated 50,000 evangelical Christians here in France. Today, though, there are nearly 650,000. That's according to the National Council of Evangelicals. Their numbers, no doubt, though, increasing. And in evangelical churches, emphasis placed on personal conversion and a direct relationship with God. Well, Juliette Lechani reports for France 24.
Pastor Peter Schmidt knows how to draw a crowd. Every Sunday, hundreds of believers pack into this converted supermarket. Sermons are streamed live on the internet, allowing the pastor to reach a much wider audience. Nathalie has been working here for 10 years. She's seen the church's digital revolution firsthand.
When the room is full, there are 2,300 people, and on Sundays 6,000 watch the service online. So yes, the church is really developing with the help of the internet, with the help of the...
Alors sur YouTube, là on est à 679 vues.
67 people currently watching on YouTube, and on Facebook there are 320. Wait, 325.
Evangelical faith is attuned to the times, so it seemed logical that we communicate our message through modern means. It's that simple.
Among them, a new convert, Francois. Baptized last December, he comes along every week with his family.
It feels like it's a church that belongs to the modern world. That's what's so good about it. That's what makes it stand out. The pastors wear jeans. They don't wear suits. They like to have fun. They tell jokes. We sometimes even find ourselves laughing about religion. I think that in today's world that's important, to have an open mind.
This community is part of the charismatic movement, a branch of the faith that privileges miracles and the idea of divine healing. The evangelical church is made up of a number of diverse theological traditions, which don't necessarily see eye to eye. What brings them together is their attachment to the Bible and a quest to establish a direct relationship with God. It's an approach that's becoming increasingly popular. Created in 2012, the National Council for French Evangelists, or the CNEF, puts on an annual event to advise pastors how to set up new churches across the country. Training new pastors is key to the group's model for expansion.
Bonjour, bienvenue.
According to CNEF statistics, a new evangelist church opens every 10 days in France, and that's been the case for the past 20 years. But for Daniel LIECHTI, the man who heads up the push to establish new churches, that figure isn't as impressive as he'd like.
If we continue like this, one new church every 10 days, we'll never succeed in accomplishing our goal. That is, having one church for every 10,000 French citizens across the whole country. We want things to progress twice, even 3 times as fast. But the outcome all depends on God's will. And that's not just a phrase, it's the profound truth that we want to see all around us. For example, in Spain, a new church opens every 3 days. And here in France, that's what we're aiming for.
Par exemple, en Espagne, il y a une nouvelle église actuellement qui s'ouvre tous les 3 jours. Ça nous fait rêver en France. Voilà.
Evangelical Christians make up just 1% of the French population, far behind Catholics and Muslims. But their appeal is growing. They say it's because more people are hearing God's message. One sociologist has another explanation.
Evangelical Christians did not just fall from the sky. Their expansion can be explained by a certain number of social factors. The evangelical church insists on a God who brings good to the people, who can have a direct impact on people's lives. Secondly, there's the family aspect. In evangelical churches, people hold hands, hug, and eat together. For a lot of people who may be suffering on a social level, the evangelical church works as a surrogate family. Evangelical church works as a surrogate family.
Being there for congregants, both spiritually and practically, is at the heart of the mission of the Ark of Peace Church. 8 years ago, after her husband died, Monique left the Democratic Republic of Congo to come and live in France. Her new church was an enormous support, even helping her to renew her residency permit.
The church really went above and beyond to help me out. They gave me money, helped me with my basic needs and my French bureaucracy. I came to the Arch of Peace because it's a church of truth. We pray like we pray back home.
African immigrants account for the largest number of new members of France's Pentecostal evangelical churches. Many have already converted by the time they arrive and are drawn to other members of their own communities.
You know, the way the Lord is praised in European countries isn't the same as where we come from. That's why there are what we call churches of African expression. In European countries, it's rare to see people express their joy in a spontaneous way. And that's why African immigrants find it hard to go to these sorts of churches. They go to hear God's teaching preached out loud, but they also want to have the opportunity to express themselves openly. That's why people go to African churches.
According to Pastor Njoli, a new African church springs up every week, but official figures are hard to come by. 26 years after it opened, the Ark of Peace is now an institution and boasts some 500 members. Like all evangelical churches, it's fully funded by donations from its members. It's a price newcomers are willing to pay for a direct line to God.